Hello everyone, this is Nick Lawson with CDC Take Charge Software, and this is lesson 15 on how to build a more robust and user-friendly contact management application in Alpha Software. Well, we're almost at the end of our tutorial for this application. So today we're going to discuss our front page, which loads when the application is started up. Now, as you can see, it floats on top of the desktop, just like we've discussed in previous tutorial lessons. And it gives our application the appearance of being a modern-day desktop gadget. In reality, though, it's a full-blown application. The components on our form are our analog clock, our super control calendar, drop-down style calendar, and our pop-up style menu. The menu allows us to add several components to our application to making it more robust and user-friendly. For example, this isn't part of the application, but it could be the Take Charge Start menu. Here, I'm able to load a menu that looks just like the Windows menu, except it has more features than the Windows menu has. I can also take and have access to my control panel. I can open up external programs within Windows, or I can open up the forms within our application. So it's very versatile. Now let's look at how all that's done. So we start by going to our control panel. Here we created a table called controller. On that table we have one record and one field, and we bind our form clock_cal to that table. So bring it up in design mode. Our first object is our analog clock. Now, Alpha Software provides this clock as a free example of how to do owner draw functions and in Windows using XBasic. Now, you can take and recreate all that code yourself if you so choose, or you can take and just copy this object over to your form and everything will work automatically because the code is attached to the object. Now, the calendar is a super control, as we said, so you would drag it over from your toolbox, put it on your form, and size it the way you want. Then you would tell it that you're doing a calendar. Now, double clicking on the object allows us to set the settings and the events for our calendar. We bind the calendar super control to activity date, which is an internal variable on our form. Then we take and set the drop downs to be active so they can change the month and the year. We set the week to start on Monday, and we set the theme to metal to match the overall theme of our form. Finally, we adjust the colors so that we're able to fine tune it so that the whole form looks like a predefined object rather than several little objects thrown together. Next is the events. Now, when you go to the event tab, Alpha Software shows all the pointers that you can use on the calendar. Then they wrote the functions that you can pass values to and from, and all you have to do is insert the code that you want to use between the function start and the function end. For example, here on initialize, we set the focus date to equal the pointer focus date. Then we set the display date to equal that focus date. The reason is when the application loads, activity date is the current date for the system. So since the user hasn't made a choice, we want the focus date and the display date to be the same. Now on the right click, what we do is we pass focus date to the script show focus date, which allows the user to see if they have any activities scheduled for that date. Now we're not going to look at how this is written today because there's a lot to it. We're going to make that a future lesson. Once it's done, we refresh, we set the date back to the current date, and then refresh our object, and basically we're done. Now let's look at our pop-up style menu. This is on a button, so we go to events and on push. Here, when you're doing a pop-up style menu, you name your variable and you share it so that you can pass those values outside of the code that you're writing, which we need to be able to do. Then you take and set the formatting. This is all adjustable by you. You can set it any way you want. You list the objects that you want. If an object is listed as a single line item, then you put it in your code section and it will pop up and perform an action when that object is selected. If you want to take and make it like a tree event where you have one line on the main menu and a submenu that displays, you repeat the main line over and over again and change the values on what would be the submenu. And you can assign unique icons and text labels. Then down here in your code section, all you do is you call that out. So here I've got an icon and a text for company setup form, and when that's done, we load the company setup form when it's selected. Now to take and make other programs run, if you come down here to the desktop section, you can see, for example, like we run File Manager, we run the Internet Explorer, we run the Media Player, Notepad, and MS Paint, and WordPad. So basically what we've done is we've created another table in our application, which is Application List. There we control the properties for each of the applications on the desktop. Now the user is able to take and modify those and run any applications they want, or they can use the ones that will come with it, which will be the default desktop application for Windows. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Let's take and look at how everything runs. And we'll close out of here. Bring up our application. Once again, you get to see our glorious logo. And here we are. So, our clock is running. Our calendar is on the current date. We want to look for any activity scheduled for the 12th. We right-click. We have none, but if we wanted to, we could write a note at this point. We're going to say no. We go to our display menu. We want to take and look at our desktop applications, and we want to open WordPad. There it is. See how simple all that works? So now our application floats on top of the desktop. It's in a modern look and style. It's very functional and versatile. We can put as much stuff in it as we want to, and we're creating an application that is more robust and user-friendly for our customers, exactly as we stated when we started. That's it for today. Hope you all find this lesson useful, and have a great day.